You think your problem is money. You think if you just earned a little more, got a raise, started a side hustle, everything would change. But let me tell you something uncomfortable. There are people making six figures who are still broke. There are athletes who earned millions and ended up bankrupt. There are lottery winners who lost everything within a few years. So clearly, income is not the root issue. The real problem is something far more invisible, something you experience every single day without noticing it. And that thing is dopamine. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical like most people think. It's the anticipation chemical. It spikes before you get the reward, not after. It's what makes you feel excited when you're about to open a package. It's what makes you feel a rush when you add something to your cart. It's what keeps you scrolling at midnight even when you're tired. And here's the dangerous part. Modern technology has weaponized dopamine against you. Every notification, every flash sale, every only 2 left in stock, every limited time discount. These are not random marketing tricks. They are neurological triggers. Your brain sees uncertainty and potential reward, and it lights up. The same brain circuit that gamblers use in casinos is activated when you refresh your email hoping for a discount code. The same loop that slot machines use is built into social media feeds and online shopping platforms. And while you're chasing these tiny dopamine spikes, something silent is happening in the background. Your financial discipline is weakening. Think about your last unplanned purchase. Maybe it was small. Maybe it was just $40. Maybe it was food delivery when you had groceries at home. Maybe it was a subscription you forgot to cancel. In the moment, it didn't feel dangerous. It felt justified. I deserve this. It's not that expensive. I'll save next month. That's dopamine talking. That's your brain prioritizing immediate emotional relief over long-term stability. Now here's where it gets deeper. Most people don't spend because they need things. They spend because they want to change how they feel. Bored? Scroll and shop. Stressed? Order food. Lonely? Buy something new. Unmotivated? Upgrade your setup. Spending becomes emotional regulation. And when money becomes a coping mechanism, wealth becomes almost impossible because wealth is built through delayed gratification, and delayed gratification feels boring compared to instant stimulation. Investing is slow. Saving is invisible. Building assets doesn't give you a flashy dopamine spike, but buying something new does. And if your brain is constantly trained to prefer fast rewards, you will subconsciously sabotage slow rewards. That's why people say they want to save. They say they want to invest, but delay it. They say they want financial freedom, but keep choosing convenience. This is not a motivation issue. It's conditioning. You have been conditioned to consume. From childhood, rewards were immediate. Candy for good behavior, likes for posting, fast shipping, same-day delivery, one-click checkout. The world has eliminated waiting, but wealth still requires waiting, and that mismatch creates internal conflict. The uncomfortable truth: the economy profits from your lack of impulse control. If everyone suddenly became disciplined, patient, and intentional with money, entire industries would collapse. Impulse is profitable. Discipline is not. So when you struggle with spending, don't just call yourself bad with money. Understand that you are fighting billion-dollar systems designed to keep you stimulated. Here's the empowering part. Once you see the system clearly, you stop being controlled by it.
Now let's break the illusion, because until you understand the loop, you can't escape it. Every addiction follows the same 4-step pattern: trigger, craving, reward. And your spending habits follow this exact neurological blueprint. Step 1. The trigger is rarely about money. It's emotional. Stress after work, boredom on a Sunday, comparison after scrolling social media. You see someone your age driving a better car, living in a nicer apartment, traveling more. That comparison creates discomfort, and your brain hates discomfort. Step 2, craving. Your brain searches for a fast way to reduce that uncomfortable feeling. Not a logical solution, a fast one, something immediate, something easy. And because you've repeated this pattern before, your brain already knows the shortcut. Open an app, browse, add to cart, scroll for deals. You're not even fully conscious at this point. It feels automatic. Step 3, you click, you buy, you confirm payment. And in that moment, there's relief. Not because you needed the product, but because you satisfied the craving. The uncertainty is gone. The anticipation collapses into a reward. Dopamine spikes. Step 4, reward. For a few minutes, maybe a few hours, you feel good, in control, satisfied. But then something interesting happens. The spike fades, And when it fades, your baseline mood drops slightly lower than before. That's how dopamine works. The more intense the spike, the lower the dip afterward. So now you feel slightly emptier than you did before the purchase. And what does your brain look for again? Another trigger, another spike. This is how financial leakage becomes a lifestyle. You don't feel broke because of one big mistake. You feel broke because of repeated micro decisions driven by emotional discomfort. Now let's add something even more dangerous to this equation. Algorithms. You are not just fighting your own brain, you are fighting predictive systems trained on your behavior. If you search for running shoes once, you'll see ads for weeks. If you hesitate on a product page, you'll get a reminder. If you abandon a cart, you'll receive a discount notification. These systems are designed to re-trigger your craving at the perfect moment, when your emotional resistance is lowest, late at night, after payday, after a stressful day, during holidays. The timing is not random. And here's the deeper psychological layer. Spending creates the illusion of progress. You buy a productivity tool, you feel productive. You buy gym equipment, you feel healthier. You buy business courses, you feel ambitious. But buying is not becoming. Consumption gives you the emotional reward of identity change without the effort of actual transformation. And that's one of the biggest traps keeping people financially stuck. Instead of building the skill, they buy the gear. Instead of investing consistently, they research endlessly. Instead of saving, they optimize lifestyle. Your brain confuses preparation with progress, and dopamine reinforces that confusion. Now imagine this loop repeating weekly for 5 years. Small purchases, small emotional justifications, small rewards, individually harmless, collectively destructive. This is why people who get salary increases often don't feel richer. Their spending rises with their stimulation needs. The addiction scales with income. More money simply fuels bigger dopamine hits. That's why some high earners still live paycheck to paycheck. It's not income expansion that solves the problem, it's impulse reduction. But here's the hopeful part. The same brain that learned this pattern can unlearn it. Neuroplasticity works both ways. Right now, your brain associates spending with relief. In the next part, we're going to rebuild that association. We're going to train your brain to feel reward from saving, to feel dopamine from investing, to feel satisfaction from restraint. Because once your reward system changes,
now comes the part most people skip. Awareness is powerful, but awareness without action changes nothing. If dopamine has been trained to reward spending, then your mission is simple. Retrain it. And retraining doesn't start with extreme discipline. It starts with interruption. The next time you feel the urge to buy something unplanned, don't fight it immediately. Observe it. Pause for 60 seconds, not 10. 60. Feel the tension in your body. Notice how your brain starts justifying the purchase. It's not that expensive. You work hard. You deserve it. That internal negotiation is the craving speaking. When you observe it instead of obeying it, you weaken the loop. This is called urge surfing. You ride the craving like a wave instead of drowning in it. Most impulses peak and fall within minutes if you don't act on them. But when you instantly respond, you train your brain to expect immediate satisfaction. Step 2 is friction. Right now, spending is too easy. One tap, Face ID, done. Wealth requires effort. Spending requires nothing. Reverse that. Delete saved credit cards. Remove shopping apps from your home screen. Unsubscribe from promotional emails. Turn off non-essential notifications. You are not avoiding temptation. You are redesigning your environment. Self-control is unreliable. Environment design is powerful. Now comes the most important shift: replacement. If you only remove spending without replacing the reward, your brain will rebel. It will look for another quick spike. Maybe not shopping, maybe something else. So you must create a new source of dopamine. Track your net worth weekly. Watch your savings grow. Celebrate paying off debt. Invest consistently and monitor progress. When you see numbers increasing because you didn't spend, your brain starts linking discipline with reward. At first, it feels small, almost boring. That boredom is withdrawal from overstimulation. Most people quit here because they mistake calm for failure. But calm is stability. Calm is control, and control compounds. Let me tell you something most people don't realize. Wealth is not built through intensity. It's built through consistency. The wealthy don't wake up excited to avoid buying things. They simply don't feel the urge the same way. Their dopamine system has shifted. They feel satisfaction from ownership, not consumption, from assets, not aesthetics. They don't chase the feeling of looking rich. They chase the feeling of being secure, and security is quiet. Another powerful tool is the 24-hour rule. Any non-essential purchase must wait 24 hours. No exceptions. You'll be shocked how many things lose their appeal overnight. Dopamine thrives in urgency. Remove urgency and you remove half its power. Also understand this, your identity matters. If you see yourself as someone bad with money, your behavior will follow that script. But if you start saying, I am someone who makes intentional financial decisions, your brain searches for actions that align with that identity. Identity drives behavior more than motivation ever will. So stop saying, I'm trying to save. Start saying, I'm becoming financially disciplined. Language shapes belief. Belief shapes action. Now imagine this shift compounded over 5 years. Instead of hundreds of impulse purchases, you have hundreds of intentional investments. Instead of feeling anxious about bills, you feel prepared. Instead of chasing micro pleasures, you build macro security. The addiction loses its grip. And here's the final truth. The system will never stop trying to stimulate you. There will always be sales, always be upgrades, always be something newer, faster, better. But once you understand that most of those urges are chemical, not logical, you stop taking them personally. It's not that you lack discipline. It's that you were never taught how your brain works. Now you know, and knowledge gives you leverage. So the next time you feel that impulse to click buy now, pause and ask yourself one question. Is this purchase building my future or feeding my chemistry? That question alone can change your financial trajectory. Master your dopamine and you master your decisions. Master your decisions and you master your money. And if this changed how you see your spending habits, subscribe, because in the next video, we're